In this video, I'm going to give you 9 ways to stand out from other accounting firms. 9 ways that if you implement them in your firm, it can dramatically increase the growth of your business. So before we dive in, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Daan, owner of Accounting Kings, where we work with accountants to get them more higher paying business clients. We are on average spending around $50,000 to $60,000 every month on ads for accountants. And I create these videos just to share my expertise so you can implement it, make more money and help more people. So these 9 ways that I'm going to give you, the 9 tips, have dramatically increased the growth of my clients. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So the first way to stand out is by presenting a solution and not a service. So you can imagine that if a business owner comes to you and they say, hey, I need full service accounting, I need my taxes done, I need tax planning. And if you're going to just explain, okay, yeah, we use this software and then this bookkeeper is going to do your books and this person will take care of the tax and we have a front office person and we have a monthly meeting to talk about where you are at with some advisory in there. If you are going to talk about the service that you are going to provide, you will be the same as all of the other accounting firms, because the other firm around the corner across the street is probably using the same kind of processes. And if the business owner then goes to your competitor and they are going to talk about, oh yeah, well, this person will do your bookkeeping, this person will do your tax work, and we will have a monthly advisory meeting. It's the same exact pitch as your competitor. So if you want to be the same, and then the only thing that you will be compared with is pricing, then you are going to explain the same exact thing, right? So the only way that you can stand out in terms of pitching is by actually pitching the solution. So if a business owner comes to you and they say, I need full service accounting and my tax is done, and if you're going to explain how you will deliver it, your competitor is doing the same thing. What you actually want to do is explain how this is going to impact their business. Okay, you want your full service accounting and taxes done. Why? What type of impact will this have on your business? What will this actually do for the business? Okay, yeah, well, I actually need some clarity because I want to attract investors. Okay, cool. So you want to get investors. Why? Okay, you want to grow the business from 5 to 10 million a year. This is how we can actually help you. We are going to clean up the books so that you can actually present better numbers to the potential investors. We are going to decrease your tax bill and increase your margins so that you actually have to get less money, which will save you money in long end. And we are going to also meet with you proactively to give you advisory so you can actually get to that 10 million. It's the same process, but now focused to a solution. It's the same thing that if you go to a restaurant and you are very hungry, you've worked all day, and you just order something from the menu, and then they are going to say, okay, yeah, perfect. So we are going to cut the onions here. We are going to put it in like the oven for 5 minutes, and then this person will put some seasoning on it. You're like, I don't care. Just give me my food. I just want the outcome. So that's way number 1. Always pitch the outcome, the actual values you are going to provide instead of the process. Then the second way that you can actually stand out from your competitor is by having case studies with specific numbers. A lot of accounting firms, they have testimonials and they are written, and that's great. Not that many accounting firms actually have testimonials, like interviews with clients. And if you really want to take it to the next level, you want to use interviews with specific numbers that are similar to your ideal type of client. So if you want to work with established companies that at least do 7 figures a year, then you want to have an interview with one of your clients that is doing 7 figures a year. And then you also specifically want to talk about the numbers. Okay, so you came on board with us, you were doing $1 million a year, you had some problems with your books, you didn't really have your financial overview, and you were struggling with getting investors. We cleaned up the books, we saved money on your tax bill, you got the investors, and within 2 years you actually grew the business to 10 million a year. If you have case studies from a client of yours which is an ideal client, other people like them are going to watch this case study, think, hey, this is exactly like my situation. I want clean books, lower my tax bill and get investors and grow to 10 mil. I will work with this accountant, where the other accounting firm probably has a couple of testimonials where they say, oh yes, I really recommend this accounting firm, you should work with them, they are great. Well, if you actually have a video testimonial, an interview talking about the outcome that you actually gave someone, is way more reliable with specific numbers, because that's what you are selling. You are not selling the service, you are selling the outcome. And if you have the case study with your ideal type of client, with the outcome, the increased likelihood of achievement from someone that sees the videos will go through the roof, because if the case study is very similar as the person watching it, they know that you have done it for someone else already that is very similar, in a very similar situation. So the trust in you will dramatically increase. Then the third way to stand out from your competitors is by naming processes, systems, and offers in a more sexier way. So instead of saying, we will have a discovery call to see if we can lower your tax bill, say, we are going to give you a free tax savings analysis. And instead of saying, this is our bookkeeping process, you can name the process the clean books by March process, if you kind of have an offer where you will clean up someone's books of 2025 in the first quarter of 2026. Because by naming a process, although the process can be the same exact thing, if you name the process different, it will directly be different from your competitor. And it sounds so simple, but it is true. Because if 5 accounting firms say, we are going to clean up your books of 2025 by doing bookkeeping, okay, that's pretty normal. But if someone else is going to say, you can enroll in our clean books by March program, it sounds way sexier. It directly puts you in a whole different bucket from the other accounting firms. They are all saying the same thing and they are making the same promises. Will you actually have like a whole sexy process? And the business owner will probably also think, oh, okay, so how does this clean books by March process work exactly? I've never really heard that before. They will ask more questions because it's different. And because they are going to ask more questions, you have the opportunity to actually explain how it works. You can do more active selling because they are more intrigued and they are actually going to ask questions, and they will do more active listening. So they will register it more, and you directly will be different from the competitors that are just saying, we will clean up the books. Then the fourth way to be different from your competitors is by using risk reversals. So many accountants, they say, okay, we are going to do the full service accounting, and we're going to give you advice, and maybe you will grow the business, or maybe you will save on your tax bill, or maybe you will have better financial clarity. And by implementing a risk reversal, so, okay, you will enroll and we are going to create a plan for you, right? And then if you do not save on your tax bill, we will give you a refund of the plan. I will not give a full guarantee on the ongoing work, because that's very hard. Because if you give someone advice and they do not implement it, they have the advice, you spend a lot of time, but you lost money. You actually want to give an intro offer, like a plan to get someone on board, and you use a risk reversal. So let's stick with the company that's doing $1 million and wants to grow to 10 with investors. Let's say that that's their goal, and they have a specific deadline. You can tell them, okay, well, it's your goal to have clean books so that you can get these investors and get to 10 million a year. If we do not clean up your books by March, we are going to, I don't know, give you the cleanup bill free, or we are going to give you a $5,000 discount. And then of course you have an agreement where you say that they need to provide access to the QuickBooks Online and whatever you need to clean up the books, so that you of course are protected, and so that they will actually give their documents on time. This is also a way to actually get documents faster from clients, because if they work with you because you put the money where your mouth is, and you say, hey, I can give you this amazing result, but you have to do this. You have to give me the documents. They are also just tied to actually, giving you what you want. That's a quick side note. Maybe a video on its own, so make sure you subscribe. So you want to actually use risk reversals, because almost no other accounting firm is using risk reversals. And if you are doing a good job of selling the outcome instead of the service and the process, and also give a risk reversal. So if you do not get the outcome, we give you full discount, we give you a full refund, we give you a discount, or your tax return will be free, or you get 1 month of free accounting or advisory. Even if all the other firms are selling the outcome, but you give a risk reversal, so the perceived likelihood of achievement will increase, you will directly be different and your sales conversion rate will increase, but you can even also charge more because they are more likely to actually achieve their goal. Then the fifth way to be different from your competitors is by giving ROI indications. So of course, you can almost not really guarantee someone that they will get the investors and that they will grow the business to 10 million. But you can make indications. What we do, for example, when we sell an intro offer, we use spreadsheets. We have a whole tool with the strategy, and we get access to someone's books, and we just tell them, okay, I analyzed everything. I think that if we implement this strategy, you will save, probably, indication, you can never guarantee anything. We will indicate that you will save X, Y, Z. Or if we are going to create a cash flow forecast and lower your overhead here, here, and here, you have to get less loans and interest will be lower. So you will save X, Y, Z. And by giving an indication of the ROI, you can first of all charge more, you will directly be different because nobody's actually giving indications. And again, I'm going to repeat it again, indication. Make sure that you actually tell them this will vary from the actual outcome, but I can actually base this with numbers that you will probably make or save this amount. And now you can just show them numbers, and then you have a spreadsheet where you can give them a strategy, you give them how to do it now, how it's supposed to be done, what the impact is, and how to get there. That's how our clients are able to directly differentiate them, because nobody is saying, okay, well, if I'm going to give you this full service accounting and tax package, hopefully, fingers crossed, you will reach your goal. And I don't know, like I'm going to do my best. But if you actually base it with numbers and they very clearly see how you are going to do it and what you think you will be able to do for them, then it becomes like a no-brainer investment. If you can give someone $1 and you get $2 back, you will be stupid to not do it. So give them an indication of what the outcome will be of working with you. Then the sixth way to be different from the competitors is by giving them the price if they do nothing. So if a business owner comes to you and they say, I want to grow to 10 million and I need clean books to get investors, of course you're going to give the price of the actual service, but also tell them, and if you don't do anything and you have the same 50% growth of last year, you can actually get to the 10 million, you are going to lose out on millions and millions and millions of dollars. So by working with me, you make sure that you are not going to lose out on those millions of dollars of missed growth. Because if you don't have the clean books and the investors are not going to invest, you cannot get to the $10 million per year. So make sure you give the price of inaction. Make sure you tell them, if you do not work with us and you do not have the clean books and do not get those investors, you will not reach the 10 million. And if you get the same growth from last year, which will then bring you only to 1.5, you are going to lose out on millions and millions and millions of dollars. Then the seventh way to be different from competitors is by using the language of the person you are talking to. Talk like they talk. And I'm not going to, and I'm not saying that you need to change your whole personality, but if you talk to a law firm owner, you of course will talk more professional than a tradesman, right? You need to use their terms. And if the law firm owner is always using very professional language and they are going to ask you different types of questions, it makes sense that you actually talk in their language, talk with their terms. If you work with a tradesman, like a landscaper, for example, they may be more direct and they may not know what certain terms are. in the accounting field, well, the law firm owner may have heard of those terms and is more in those professional spaces. So if you talk like the person you are talking to, you will be different, because all of the other accounting firms, they are probably going to throw complex terms. So you just need to make sure that you speak in their language, use their terms, and talk about things that they know. Because if you are going to talk to a landscaper the way you will talk to a law firm owner, there's a little bit of a discrepancy in what they are going to understand. And most of the accounting firms, they will throw very complex language at someone, which makes sense from a business perspective of, hey, this is what I'm doing, and in my industry we use these terms. But if they don't understand those terms, they don't understand what you are actually saying. So make sure you speak the language and the terms of the actual industry. Then the eighth way to be different from your competitors is by providing value upfront. What you can do if someone books a meeting with you, send them a couple of emails regarding a thing that they want to achieve. So if someone wants to get investors and clean books, and if you have done it for someone else already, send them that case study with value in the interview, or send them a cheat sheet or a checklist of getting better investors. Because if you are going to give someone value, the people want to actually return value to you. In psychology, it's a proven thing that if you provide value to someone upfront, they want to provide something back. And that's one of, there are many reasons why I make these videos, but one of the reasons why I'm creating this video is because it allows me to give someone value, and then they want to give something in return. And that's of course also just how business works. But in psychology, there's an actual science-based thing where people want to actually give back. So if you give value up front of the meeting that you have with them, and it was actually valuable, they are going to give something in return. And then the ninth way to be different, which is arguably one of the biggest, most important ways to be different from your competitors, and I talked about it before on this channel, niche down. You really need to niche down if you want to be different, because if you niche down into the real estate development niche to get investors, and you may think, but this is so specific, how do I know for sure that I can actually scale this? You can scale niching down by charging more, because you have more expertise, you provide more value. And if you can charge more per client, margins will increase, headaches will decrease, and people are going to refer you more. Let's imagine that if you watch a video like this, a generic video about how to be different from your competitors, the value that I will be able to provide to you, the person watching, will be lower, because I cannot give those very specific examples. If you give generic advice to business owners and you never really work with a real estate developer that wants to get clean books to get investors, the value that you will be able to provide is lower. And you may think, but I can still provide the same outcome. That may be true, but I can bet you that if this is the third time you do it versus someone who has done it 50 times already, he will be able to do it faster. He will probably be able to explain it in more depth, and the trust will also increase. So the business owner itself feels rested knowing that an expert is taking care of it. So you will be able to provide more value. You can charge more, so you don't have to worry about, oh, but if I'm going to niche down in a very specific thing and I cannot really scale my business. That's not true. You can, for example, look at gym launches. If you know Alex Ramosi, it's essentially a company that helps gym owners scale their business. And you think, okay, well, it's only gyms. Gyms tend to not make like millions and millions of dollars. He grew the company to, I think, like 20 million every single year just by working with gyms. So yeah, niche down, because if you also niche down, you can have specific risk reversals, specific case studies, you can talk their language, you will be able to implement all of the tips that I gave you before on steroids. So what you need to do is write them down, those 9 tips, and directly think about how you are going to implement this. Email your favorite client for a case study. Think about what industry that you want to target and what value that you can provide. And I know for sure that if you do this, it will dramatically increase the way that your potential clients will perceive the firm, and you will be in a whole different bucket from all of the competitors. So I really hope that you learned something from watching this video. If you want to get some help with getting clients, and there's a link in the description to just check out what I do. You don't have to click on it, it's just there. We also do this in a way where we don't profit, even if our clients are profit, so that's pretty cool. But you don't have to click on that, you just can also just watch the videos and make money that way. If you have specific questions, I'm really glad to help, so just leave them in the comments, like and subscribe to the video, and I will see you in the next one.